Oh, I think we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Recovering Addict. I'm LT and I'm an alcoholic addict. Tonight, we are going to start a new book, new old book called Staying Sober. So, we're going to quickly go through that. I'm going to hit on some K2. What the heck is that stuff? So, stay tuned right here because we recover better together. And so, let's get to know each other. Say hi to everybody in the chat and give this video a thumbs up right here on Recovering Addict. And I'm an alcoholic addict. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm LT.
I'm Felice.
Who is this girl? This is my wife, Felice. So this is Recovering Addict. If you are new here, what we have to offer is every Sunday night and every Tuesday night, we go live at 8 o'clock Utah time. We're in Utah, and that's what we do. We go live on Sundays and Tuesday nights. We go through educational books, and we just address addiction so that we can reach an audience of people who may still suffer from addiction. On top of that, we make other YouTube videos. We just released one last night, and it was a full movie review of 4 Good Days with Mila Kunis, which was a really good movie. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight too. Then we have some apps you can join. We have a private Facebook group, which is good for motivation if you're just sitting and scrolling, and kind of you can just post some stuff on there. But if you really want to get to the meat of what we have to offer, thank you, Petey, you want to join us here in the Discord. This is where we get to know each other well enough to get on each other's nerves sometimes, reach out for help 24 hours a day. That's where all our really what's going on, the heartbeat of Recovering Addict happens in this Discord. Every day at 1 o'clock, we have Zoom meetings Mondays and Wednesdays at noon, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That would be on the East Coast, 2 o'clock. I teach the crash course through the 12 steps. Tomorrow, we will be going through 8 and 9, step 8 and step 9, about there. And going through that. And that's what we have to offer here. Daily recovery meetings at 1 o'clock, 12-step classes, live streams that are educational, and a 24-hour support community at your fingertips. We call it Recovery in Your Pocket. And that's what we are here for. We're here to create a community of people that love each other, that want to stay sober, that need help for the still suffering addict, for people that are years into sobriety and they want to help out, and they can do so digitally. With all the crazy things going on in the world where we can't meet publicly in some places, this is a great substitute. This is a great supplement to in-person or therapy. Just a disclaimer before we get going that if you are coming off of drugs, I would suggest going to see a doctor, detoxing under medical professionals, and listen to a counselor. We're just alcoholics and addicts here. I'm an alcoholic and an addict. I've been through meth and alcohol addiction. My wife's been codependent. She's had to deal and live with me during my alcoholism. And so we have a family aspect. You'll see our kids popping into the stream every once in a while. They went through life as children of an alcoholic, being me. And it's a family recovery. We say we recover better together for a reason. And that's because that's what we have found out. And so tonight we're going to start a book called Staying Sober by Terence Gorski. Usually, if you go back to all my live stream, all my videos, you see this book sitting here. And this is kind of the model of where I want to take Recovering Addict as a whole. And that's why I want to go back through this book, because of what it means, what this guy has found out about staying sober, and it's relapse prevention. You have to put relapse prevention first. And we'll get into his why here in the preface, okay? But first, let's talk about K2. K2 is synthetic marijuana. It's very addictive, right? It can lead to psychological and physical addiction. And coming off of it is no joke. Man, I was looking at some of the withdrawal syndromes and things you can experience: high blood pressure, anxiety, nausea, vomiting, paranoia, seizures, rapid heart rate, profuse sweating, confusion, hallucinations. heart attacks and kidney damage. So what it is I don't know, it was really popular about 5 years ago. And I remember I had one experience with it, and I'll tell you my experience with it. But it's basically they get a plant, they sprinkle this synthetic stuff. It's made in Asia, unregulated, it's illegal, and it's unregulated. So you never know how much you're getting on what. You don't know who's doing what to it. And it's just like any illegal drug, especially right now in 2021. You don't know what the hell you're going to go get. So please do not relapse. Do not go out and just take some person's word for it that they have a drug that you want to put into your body and think you're going to survive. And this is the same thing. This stuff is horrible. From what I've been reading, this stuff is not good for you at all. And people think, oh, it's just like weed. It's nothing like weed. I remember the first time I tried it, and I've only tried it one time. Somebody brought it over to the house. I confiscated it. And then I was like, man.
Oh, is this that stuff?
Yeah. I was like, man, back in my day, when I would smoke, this ain't nothing. You know, I was rolling blunts and smoking ounces. You know what I mean? So I was all cocky about it and took 3, 4, 5 big rips out of this crap, right? Out of the bowl. Sorry to trigger anybody. That's what I did. And it kicked in. It was nothing like weed. It jacked me up. I forgot how to speak English. I remember telling Felice, I was like, I can't speak English. He's like,
you said I can't understand language.
Oh, yeah.
I had to like put him to bed.
I just went straight to bed. It was not good at all.
I'm like, you're speaking a language. I can't understand language.
Yeah. Never touch the crap again. Because I was a pothead. I loved weed, but just like any other drug, I'm the type that cannot touch it. I don't like to have to chase it. I always use too much. You know, that whole thousands, 1,000s, one's too many, 1,000's never enough. That's me. And so I just have to stay abstinent. I have to stay zero abstinence. That's my program I have to run. But this K2 stuff is not good for you. It's synthetic. You don't know where it's coming from. It's highly addictive, just like any other drug. And then to come off of it, I guess some of the good points of coming off of it, it only stays in your system for 2 to 3 days. These things, these side effects that you're going through with the rapid heart rate and shaking and just having that chemical come out of your body is about a week or so. If you can make it through that without having to go back and use to try to alleviate that pain, by having people that you trust around you, knowing what you're going through. Number one, a doctor's supervision is what I recommend. A support group that you can talk to if you feel like you're about to. Just reach out on our Discord or people that you know locally. Hey, I'm about to use. I need to talk. Do not relapse. Reach out. Get through that week. And then at the end of the day, addiction is addiction. K2 put my...
Put my husband in a scary seizure state. I believe it. That stuff's nuts.
Stuff is not good. It's when they say it's just like weed, it's not just like weed at all. You might see it on a green little flowery looking thing, but I don't mean nothing. Trust me. Been there. It sucked.
It says it's awful.
It is awful. So come off of it, get clean. And from what I've been, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is my opinion here. Addiction at the end of the day is addiction, right? Our bodies get chemically dependent upon a substance, whether it be alcohol, weed, K2, heroin, meth, right? You have to withdraw and come off of that. Once that chemical is out of your body and out of your system, and that obviously super depends on how much you used and how long you were on it so it's going to vary different from person to person. So you may have a bigger battle or you may not have a bigger battle as some, right? And so that's all a variable that you got to put in there. During the time you're coming off of it, drink lots of water, take your vitamins, try to rest as much as you can, get some fresh air, do good things for your body to help it heal. Your body is in a constant state of healing all the time, especially if you give it the right fuel. Do that. And then the chemical is going to come out of your system. And now you have to deal with the addict. If you have been in addiction, you have run as an addict, you've become an addict. You've built into yourself an addictive personality. You've built into yourself an addictive mindset. These things don't happen by accident. We program ourselves to become like this, and that's how it starts. And then you got to get into a program. You got to work with other people. You need a support group. You need to understand character defects. You definitely need to understand what relapse prevention are and triggers that's going to possibly get you to relapse. And that comes through sticking with a community of people that love to support you. And if you do that, your chances of getting clean and staying clean improve drastically. If you think you're just going to go hide by yourself, come off of it in a couple of days and you're good, and through the next 6 months to a year, you don't need anybody, you're strong enough, is a lie. We're a communal. We are designed to be a community of people anyway, to work as a community, to build and to live and to go through hard problems in life is the same thing. Betsy, good to see you.
Glad you're here, Betsy.
Yeah. So join us and get through it. Synthetic marijuana use, it says, is not an epidemic, but it is a growing problem, and people need to be thinking about it and how we're going to deal with it. There's signs of it. Continued abuse of synthetic marijuana can lead to psychological and physical addiction. Synthetic marijuana's mind-altering properties are similar to those of marijuana, although marijuana is commonly touted as being non-addictive. The clinical definition of addiction proves otherwise. There are 11 signs of addiction outlined in this diagnosis that's in here. If you guys want, I can drop this in the link, and you guys could check out those 11 things.
Josh Beam's got some crazy news when we get around to it. Don't forget.
Sweet. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot, brother. Thank you very much.
Oh, have you heard of Delta 8?
Delta 8 is a movie? Is it with Chuck
No,
Norris?
maybe.
Is that a Chuck Norris movie? That sounds like a Chuck Norris movie.
Somebody asked. I can't remember who. Billy, I think. He's all, have you guys heard of Delta 8?
Delta 8?
I've never heard of Delta 8.
Let me Google it real quick right now. Yeah, so this...
Hey, Brazil. What up?
Detection of K2 in your urine is 2 to 3 days after consumption. So it doesn't stay in the body that long. Like marijuana stays in your body. If you're a regular user, will stay up to 45 days in your system. Most of the chemicals are 2 to 3 days. So drink lots of water, get into a community that wants and loves and supports you, which is what you found here. And let's get through the ism. You remove any, like I always use this because I learned it in my counseling when I was in there. You got alcoholism, you remove the alcohol, you're left with the ism. Why did you go to that drug? Why did you lean on it? Why did you become addicted? What problems? What in life do you need that you feel like this void is filling? Is it to make you not bored? Is it to make you think you can clean the house better? Is it to help you in social situations? Do you have trauma in your life that the emotions you're trying to bury? Because once you come off of drugs, you got to feel those emotions. We have to feel to heal. And that's another thing we do together is we talk about our emotions. We will see in this book that's highly recommended that we find a group of people that will not criticize or minimize what we're going through, and we will not judge you. And if you do relapse, we're here to love you until you love yourself. And you're always welcome in the community, no matter what. I'm going to let Felice address the next two, Billy Lawson and Josh Beam's comments, while I sit back and chill for a second.
Oh, and shout out to Jeanette's son. Happy 16th birthday. Sweet 16. Woo-woo.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Boy's going to get a driver's license.
Little Jeanette Mini. Nicole says Delta 8's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I was going to Google that.
Billy says, because I was using marijuana, talking to Jason, I think, for pain as well as common agent, but it wasn't doing anything. So I was told about Delta 8. Delta 8 is supposed to be a marijuana where the THC is supposedly short from it, and you got mostly CBD. That's why I'm asking. Okay.
I'm Googling it right now. I see Delta 8 THC cartridges, and it says, how long is it going to be legal? It looks like a new thing on the market, and that's kind of the thing with K2, this fake weed and all that stuff. It hasn't been out long enough for us to have any long-term effect results. We know alcohol has been around since, we were able to grow grapes. And what are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
Do they want a quote?
I think they do.
Like he's got a
The
quote.
way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. Dolly Parton.
I love Dolly.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, let's go.
Wait, I dropped.
They're gonna
Where you guys
bounce.
going?
They're gonna bounce and go play some
You guys
foosball.
knew we were going live. I mean, now let's talk about it.
It was my idea.
Link's idea.
Like, so we're bored. We're gonna play foosball.
That
Those
was my
was
kids,
fun.
y'all. Those are who I drug through my addiction with. And if you haven't seen our movie review, Millie says hi, everybody. If you haven't seen our movie review of 4 Good Days, please check it out. I just dropped that video last night. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
I tried to make this video as emotional as the movie was. But oh yeah, Delta 8 and weed, right? So synthetic weed hasn't been around that long. So scientifically and study-wise and length of life that the substance has been around, we don't have any long-term side effects from it. Alcohol's been around since we could grow grapes. We know what alcohol does to people, right? We know what heroin and crack, we know what meth does to people. It's been long, cocaine, all that stuff. That we don't know. Even vaping, like vaping nicotine. I'm addicted to that. I do that. And we don't know the long-term effects of that, so it's a gamble. And now Delta 8 seems pretty new, at least from my 2 seconds of Google that I just looked at. How long will Delta 8 remain legal? What is Delta 8 THC, and does it get you high? People asking these kind of questions. Us addicts, right? There's a point in the movie that cracks me up. It's a comic relief spot in that movie we watched 4 Good Days. She's in the doctor's office. She's been slamming heroin for the last. She's been in and out of rehabs. This is be our 15th time, and she's gonna get this antagonist shot, right? The shot that blocks opiates, so that she can't get high if she uses again. So she has to get clean to use it. And then she asks the doctor, "Is it safe?" Her mom's like, "Are you effing crazy? You've been a junkie," is basically what she says, "for this long, and now all of a sudden your body's a temple." It's pretty funny. But that's just like us addicts. We're willing to put anything in our body that's going to change our state of mind. Why is that? Why are we willing? I think about that when I think about my past, when I was a teenager, up in my early 20s, and even up to this point in time. I had my friends who were clean and didn't tamper with drugs, not like I did, because I didn't care what I put in my body. I was fearless. I was like, what? That gets you, it does what? It didn't matter. I was doing it, right? Without even thinking about what it's actually doing to this vessel that I have to live in for the next 80 years, and they're thinking healthy, like, oh, that's not good for you. I'm like, what does that even mean? And so I don't know. It's probably just better to stay away from it. Just why? Why do we need it? Why do we need that? Are there other ways we can cope? Are there other things and life lessons we can learn to deal with life on life's terms? Can we go on a walk and go hiking? Can we work out? Can we call somebody and talk? Can we read? Can we draw? Can we paint? I mean, and it's endless. You can build businesses. You can write books. You can sit and knit, or you can sit there on top of a hill and just meditate. You know what I mean? There are other ways. Working out is probably my favorite healthy way to get high. They call it a runner's high. After a good hard workout, hey Brad, you listening? Once you stick with it, make it a habit, and all of a sudden you're into it. You're starting to feel the results of getting strong and eating good. After a workout, talk about peace and calm, because at the end of the day, like I was saying just a bit ago, it's addiction, right? Addiction, we're chasing dopamine. And dopamine is that feel-good chemical that drops from our brain. Some drugs release tons of it, and that's what we're doing. You go gambling, you have a sex addiction, you're releasing that dopamine. That's what feels good, and that's what keeps us going for more.
Jeanette says she went through it 7 days, nothing to get the shot, but it's what saved her life. She was on it for 3 months and nothing since. Awesome. But let's get back to Josh's good news. Where did it go? There it is. Josh Beam. I have 18 months sober on the 8th of this month. I asked Savannah to marry me, and that happens in August. Just found out Friday he's going to be a daddy in November, hopefully the 28th, because that's the best day. And I'm off paper in a month. So many things going on. So happy to be sober.
Dude, what blessings.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, man. And Josh came on and told his story a while back on this show. Great story of alcoholism, and he's turned his life around, and bam, look, right there. You keep making the next right choice, life gets better. You may not feel like it today. You may be sitting in your bedroom. You may be sitting in your living room. You may be in a dark corner somewhere, shaking and shivering, wondering if this pain is ever going to go away. Press forward, because I'm here to tell you there is hope. Yes, it gets better. Some days are better than others. I mean, life is still life. Flat tires and cars still break down. People still piss you off. You get cut off, and you know what I mean? stuff happens, jobs go out of business and you lose, things happen, but life gets better. We learn how to deal with it every 24 hours. We live in the present. That's another thing I heard today. I kind of wanted to bring up. I mean, look at this. This is an hourglass, right? You got the past on the bottom, all that sand pouring in. That's the past. Up here that's about to pour through to the bottom is the future. Right there is our life. That's our life right there. We don't need to worry about all this stuff that's coming at us. We just need to worry about what's happening today. The next couple hours. That's it. We got to get through those next couple hours. We don't need to worry about anything back here. There goes a divorce. There goes a bankruptcy. There goes a drug use and stealing from your mom and whatever we did in the past. That's back here. There's nothing we can go back and we can't dig out that sand again and put it back up here and reuse it. And us crying and worrying about it. We got to get through it. We got to deal with that and forgive ourselves and ask for apologies and make amends. But there's no point in living back here. And there's no point in worrying up here. You got one foot in the future. You got one foot in the past. What are you taking on today? Right? So enjoy this life. It's just like an hourglass too. It never stops. We're always just right there. And the moment's always just moving.
Like sands through an hourglass, so are the days
of
of
our
our
lives.
lives. Thank you, John. So are the days of our lives.
So the book we're going through, again, Staying Sober. And I want to talk about why he wrote this book. He says in the early 1970s, he was working on an alcoholism. He was working as an alcoholism counselor in Grant Hospital in Chicago, starting in June of 1971. He was assigned to full-time responsibility in the outpatient department. Because, he said, this is his words, because I had a low seniority in the agency, I had very little influence in getting assigned the high prognosis patients. I was assigned to the most difficult patients, many of them having had treatment numerous times without attaining sobriety. All right, 1970, right? He goes to Chicago. He's working as an alcohol counselor. Just got hired as a new guy on the block. Instead of getting the brand new patients and he can work all his psychological stuff that he just found out, they're like, well, you get to start off over here. All these patients, they know what we're talking about. They've been through the programs and they're continuing to relapse. He's in the part of the facility where they're return customers, right? They get through a program, they go back out, they know more than he does about AA, and then they relapse, right? So he's like, what is going on? Now he's intrigued, right? He wants to figure this out. He said, I was assigned to most difficult patients, many of them having had treatment numerous times without attaining sobriety. At that time, I was not concerned. I believed I could work with anybody. Nobody ever told me that these chronic relapse-prone patients were hopeless. As a result, I simply expected them to recover. Did you want to address one? Claiborne the barber
Just
in the
shouting
house.
out Matthew, his roommate, watching.
Oh, what's up,
Recover Now.
Matthew?
What up?
Good to see you, brother. Glad you're here. Is Adrian in the show? She gave us that
Adrian!
awesome wake up merch. And that was cool. All right. So when a caseload is exclusively compound of relapse-prone individuals, it can be overwhelming task. He goes, but I began to learn almost immediately. The first thing that I learned was that most relapse-prone patients had experienced everything that alcoholism, counseling, and traditional psychotherapy had to offer. They've been through it all. I also learned that many had more knowledge of the steps and traditions of AA than I did. They knew the big book and the 12 by 12. Many had long periods of abstinence. They were achieved by practicing these principles. So not only did they know it, they practiced it, and they've achieved sobriety for some periods of time. He goes, but somehow they could not put those principles to work in their everyday lives. Many felt they were constitutionally incapable of recovery, and related to that statement in chapter 5 of the big book that describes those unfortunates who can't recover. They just chalk themselves up to being what chapter 5 describes as the ones who can't do it because they're not honest, right? Chapter 5 says the ones who do recover are the ones who are honest. He goes, I had been trained in highly confrontive style of therapy. Have you guys ever been? My old counselor, he's retired now, and I got just the last few months of his career, right? And I believe he was trained in this same highly confrontive style, though I heard he had mellowed out. He still would put you in a hot seat and he would grill you, which I think is good in some cases. But I heard that he was trained in this type of stuff too, really, as well. He says, I quickly learned that confrontation would not work with relapse-prone patients because the one thing they had more experience with than anything else was dealing with confrontive people. On a day-to-day basis, they were confronted by almost everyone. They had employees, wives, children, therapists, counselors, police officers, right, etc. If there was one thing that they were skilled at, it was dealing with confrontation. So,
Adrian is here.
yeah.
Thank you for the awesome
Yes.
shirts.
Thank you for the awesome swag. We're gonna get their hoodies too, and we're gonna do a photo shoot as well
Because we look good.
because we're so sexy.
I'm sexy and I know it. Welcome, Music Junkie Jake. Glad you're here,
Music
bud.
junkie.
That's
Go ahead.
Jake. He says 2 years,
Oh,
12
yeah.
days, job at IRS, 3
Woo!
businesses starting up, closer relationship with my daughter, more than ever.
Amen, brother.
Very cool. You're doing a great job, Jake.
Yeah, brother.
And the Nicoles now go by Rolo and Brower.
Hmm?
We don't have Nicoles anymore. There's 2 of them.
Oh, we're
We're on to last names now. What's up, Patrice? Yeah, Cherie.
Rolo and Brower in the house. Both are named Nicole, and they're not the mouse.
Okay.
I suck at rapping.
He's
Epi, I apologize for that.
It's not his day job.
I apologize for everybody's ears I just hurt.
Thanks, Adrian. I think you're doing good. Everybody go check out Adrian. Shout out real quick. Indigenous Minds. Drop your link, Adrian.
Yeah, drop your link if you want to, Adrian.
She makes awesome hoodies and shirts and other things.
Great movie, Patricia. I believe that was a good movie.
It was phenomenal, I think.
We did that review yesterday, so I don't want to talk too much about it. I mean, if you want to know my real thoughts on it, that video we dropped last night will give you all that. But I believe this movie, if we can get it shared out, right now we're at a really crucial time. I mean, if you look at the government, you look at therapies, you look at YouTube and Facebook, recovery is becoming a great place to be for addicts. The stigma of a junkie is shifting, right? I think it being accepted as a mental illness is starting to be understood more and more, and which is all good things. And being able to love each other into sobriety is the best way to go. And I think that's what we're figuring out. I saw that video you did about that. Oh, good.
What'd you
Nice.
think? Tell us what you
Yeah.
thought.
What did you think about
We're
it?
not going to give it away. Go watch it.
Okay. Yeah. No more talking. No more spoilers.
And check out Adrian on Facebook and Insta, Indigenous Minds of the New World.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Matthew, go get Claiborne some toilet paper right now.
Oh, geez. But yeah, so check out that movie and then watch our video because it is a spoiler. We do reveal the movie.
Glad you're here, Breck. It was nice talking to you.
Breck, it's nice meeting you today too, and very glad you're a part of the community now. Awesome, I love it. All right, so we're going through a book. If you just joined us, Staying Sober by Terence Gorski. It's a relapse prevention. Relapse prevention. Thank you very much. And this man worked in a unit of high relapse individuals. He found out that they were very skilled at dealing with confrontation. So confrontation type therapy was not working. He said, I quickly recognized that this group of patients was harder on themselves than any therapist ever could be. They tended to punish themselves and put themselves down. Their self-esteem was at an all-time low. So he said, instead of launching into sophisticated treatment plans, highly confrontational treatment strategies, and highly structured treatment programs, he said, I adopted a much simpler approach. First, I asked each patient to attend a minimum of 3 AA meetings per week. Second, I devised a special 3-hour therapy group that helped the people learn how to communicate with one another, experience and talk about feelings and emotions, and identify general patterns of behavior in the group, and then apply these patterns to problems occurring in other areas of their life. He said the third part of the treatment consisted of individual therapy sessions devoted almost exclusively to constructing a detailed relapse history. So that's something I want to do. If you're new here, we have a meeting every day at 1:00. I highly suggest and recommend, and if I could make you, I would, but you're here by your own free will, a part of this community. Come to at minimum 3 a week. Okay. There's 7 of them every day at 1. Some are hit and miss. Sometimes we have a lot of people. Sometimes there's only a couple of us. Come to at least 3 of those. And then come to the meetings where where I teach the classes and where we can, and I want to, maybe I'll set up another Zoom meeting just for this, where we can sit and talk and learn to communicate. And the rule of this Zoom meeting would be to, hey, cameras on and everybody has to talk. That we can learn that communication thing, right? And then we'll set up another class. This is kind of what I want to do. And this is what I'm going to do with the brick and mortar that we're about to start, and set up where everybody has to write relapse history. We talk about all the relapses we've had. And then how to prevent it in the future. That's what this book is dedicated to, is relapse prevention. He goes on to say in this preface, he says, the focus of the group rapidly changed from psychology-oriented growth group to a very concrete relapse prevention-oriented therapy group. So that's what we could become here. The focus was identifying concrete warning signs of relapse, recognizing them in real life situations, and learning how to take steps to reverse the warning signs. His big thing, and we're going to learn all about it this next however many shows it takes us to get through, how to not relapse, to write a history, look at your past, what were the triggers, and then to write a relapse prevention plan. And we're going to focus on that here at Recovering Addict the next however long it takes to get through this book. Because if you can stop it before it starts, and I know I refer to this book a lot as I talk anyway. And in one section of the book, he talks about it like it's an escalator. You're walking up the down escalator, right? And as soon as you stop, you're moving down. And the warning signs are all around that point where you stop moving forward in recovery. And that's where you want to catch it. That's where you want to stop it and get back to moving forward. And the sooner you can catch it, and that's by analyzing yourself, working the 12 steps, understanding your character defects, understanding your triggers and warning signs of relapse, and setting up things to prevent that. And if you can do that, your likelihood of being successful, or why wouldn't you? You know, anything that's going to help you be more successful in this life now, to not go back to the life that we used to have, take advantage of it. It's right at your fingertips.
Shan says she does a relapse prevention group once a week.
Nice.
2 years, 5 months into her sobriety, and feels like she'll continue to do it to her deathbed.
Why not?
Very cool.
I know it changes my mind. Just going into groups, I can go in and I don't want to be there. I'm like, F this. I don't feel like hearing. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be there. Everything about me and everything inside me saying I don't want to, right? You go there and I always leave. I'm glad I went. Man, that was great. I'm glad I went. It's usually the times I've noticed, even going to church, even sometimes, the more inside me, I guess you could call it the addict. I don't know what it is. Whatever's inside me resisting to go to these meetings, the harder that thing is trying to get me to not go, usually the better the meeting is.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's been my experience.
Rolo says, I can see the warning signs, but to be able to reverse them is something I'm excited to learn about.
Me too.
Cheyenne says, being in the rooms with people who understand me is what gets me through nearly every day. That's it. When you need it most, you should go. Yeah, the ones you don't want to go are the ones you have to be at.
Yeah.
What's up, big brother? And Teeter wanted us to remind you about our upcoming talent show.
Oh, yeah. Dang it. That talent show. So I've only got about 1 to 2 people committed so far. We need to get at least 2 more people that want to be the entertainers on this side of the talent show. So that is up in the air of whether we're going to go through with it or not. Depends on the participation we get as far as people wanting to display their talent. So if you do have a talent you want to exhibit, let me know. Shoot us an email at recoveringaddict8@gmail.com, or I don't care how you get a hold of me. Say that you want to be in this talent show, and then we will make it happen. So I will analyze, not this week, but next week. We'll get through this week, and the following week I'll round everybody up that I have, and we'll have just a Zoom meeting just about the talent show, and then talk about how we're going to go through the choreography of displaying this live. It'll be live but private. You'll have to donate, which is going to a charity, to be a part of watching the talent show. More to come on
Cheyenne says, do we have to be talented?
that. You could
Or
do
we just
whatever
make fun of ourselves.
That's what I would do, is make an ass out of myself. Maybe I'll try to do something. I don't know. Maybe I'll play the bass. I don't know.
Is there a limit on how long the talent is?
No.
Maybe not like 2 hours.
Like 4
but-
days or something.
Did I put? I don't know. Allie's grandpa would like to.
Oh, he still wants to do it? Okay, cool. Well, that's at least 3 I know of. We got Sean Leary, who's an amazing singer. You guys have heard him. Cherie's going to do something, and I think they're going to do something together. And then Allie's grandpa still wants to do it. I guess he rocks out the guitar pretty cool. So that's 3. Oh, Epi's going to rap, right? So
Yeah.
that's 4. So we do have 4 lined up.
LT will not rap. He's what's that stupid one that grandma does on
I'll
that
teach you how to
stupid
wrap a
show?
Christmas present.
A hip hop. A hip it to the hip it to the hip hip hop. That's the one LT's gonna do.
If I try to rap, I'm going to look like, oh crap, Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm going to look like Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire when he's on the table and he's like,
Oh yeah. That's funny. I pictured you as the old lady from Wedding Singer. He asked her about it the other day. Wait, no, he asked me about the other day and said he's
Oh,
been
sick.
practicing.
all right, then we'll have to get Allie set up over at his house or bring him over here or whatever. We'll figure it out. Figure it out. Back to Chorn.
Yeah, LT does great impressions.
Not when I'm on the spot.
What's up, Mindy? 3 years today. Woo!
What?
Good
Yes!
job. Very
3
proud.
years. Shout out to Mindy. Everybody hit that like button. Give her some hearts, yo.
Yes.
That is awesome. Mindy. 3.
Congrats.
You know, every time I see 6 months, I'm like, that's awesome, because I know the pain you're struggling. I see a year, I know, but like people I got more sobriety, I'm like 3 years. Holy crap. This last year for me has been up and down. And then just the last 2 weeks, just today was insane for me. And I think, man, 3 years of life on life's terms and never churning back and using. That's all I can do is just applaud you. And it's freaking amazing.
Very cool.
So
Congratulations.
cool. So relapse is an addictive disease. This book is about relapse, what it is, and more importantly, how it can be prevented. The book is intended to confront the disturbed and to disturb the comfortable. The book is intended to comfort. Oh, sorry. I totally misread that. The book is intended to comfort the disturbed and to disturb the comfortable. It will comfort the disturbed because many relapsed people are victims of mistaken beliefs and have relapsed because they don't know how to prevent it. They blame themselves for past relapses and believe that they are hopeless because they do not know what to do to prevent future relapse. He says, it is our intent to give them hope, correct their mistaken beliefs, and help them set up plans based on accurate information that can free them from the hopelessness of repeated relapse. We do not intend to disturb those who are comfortable in a healthy sobriety, but it is our intent to disturb the naively comfortable. He's still a bit confrontive with this type of stuff, which I think is very necessary. He just described what he's going to do. He's going to comfort those who are naive and believe that it's their fault and they're hopeless, right? He's going to disturb. He says, I do not intend to disturb those who are comfortable in a healthy sobriety. If you're in a healthy sobriety, you're working your program, I don't intend to disturb you. But it is our intent to disturb the naively comfortable, right? So you got the people who are relapsing that see hopelessness, right? He's going to comfort those people. He doesn't want to disturb the people who've been sober for years and their program is working. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But if you're naively comfortable, which I would put as our one character defect called false pride. False pride is a naive comfortability in my book. He goes, but these are the people who believe that as long as they abstain from alcohol and drugs and bring the body to meetings, they do not need to be concerned about relapse. Meeting makers make it, not always. That's what he says here. They are not aware that recovery is more than that. Recovery is more than just showing up to meetings. They're not aware that there are many, many individuals who are attending meetings and not drinking, but are still not sober. They're just not drinking or using drugs. The dry drunk syndrome. These people are in high risk of relapse, even though most of them will strongly deny that fact. We intend to show that realistically facing the possibility of relapse is the only way to prevent it. Realistically facing the possibility of relapse is the only way to face it. Naively come. Yeah, right, Ramel?
She said confrontation's difficult for us with people-pleasing defects,
Right?
but it can be done with little baby steps.
Thank you, Teeter.
Thank you,
very
Michael.
much. God bless you, Teeter.
And congrats, Adrian. 11 months yesterday. Woo-hoo! Bow, bow, bow. Killing
Woo!
it.
Heck yeah.
So real.
I love it. I got all my key tags right here. I look at my green one because of the green screen's invisible.
Oh, trippy. In your new edition.
18 months right there for me. That's where I'm at, 18.
Ah, people pleasing can lead to codependency.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Steps are great tools for us on our journey. Completely agree. Patrice just celebrated 14 months.
Yes.
Boom ski. Lots of celebrations here tonight.
Yeah, what a great night.
Nice.
Nice, LT. Nice. Very nice.
Nice. See,
Nice.
he does a great Australian accent. Oh, Brad.
LT's been calling me out for false prey. I say stuff like, I'm good. I know I put the work in and I'll be careful and I don't get cocky. Bro, don't even make me call you out on TV. The more I think about it, I realize that I am right. I have put the work. I am good with what I have done. I know that I am safe in the moment, but there is never a reason to tempt the fates. Yeah, I would say, be proud of what you've accomplished and be comfortable that you're doing the right thing, but be cautious. You know what I mean? Don't go putting yourself in high risk situations. He says relapse is a complex process. It cannot be explained simply. There are many aspects of it that need to be understood. You may need to read this book more than once in order to really understand and apply the principles that we are attempting to explain, which is why I am on number 3. When we go through this book, this will be my 3rd time through it.
Thanks, Ramel.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Since everything is so important, it has been difficult for us to choose what to deal with first. Maybe it'll be helpful if we tell you now what to expect as you read this book. So we're going to look at what to expect as we read this book. Go ahead and do that.
Brad just said the point is I've put in the work, but LT is right. Don't be dumb and forget the work.
Yeah. Oh, job's done. I don't need to tighten that again.
100%.
Windshield wipers need to be replaced. Ooh, I just came up with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Does that
I did it.
relate?
I did it
Probably
once.
not.
They don't wear out or anything.
I replaced my wipers like 8 years ago.
They're fine. Scratches all up in the windows.
Recovery's maintenance, man. Look at it like your car. How far is your car going to go if you put water in the tank, if you put, peanut oil in the motor, if you don't change the spark plugs and give it a tune-up, if you don't rotate that, everything that goes into maintaining a car. Neglect your car like you neglect your recovery and see what happens. Type of thing, right? Do the same thing with your health. It's the same thing. Recovery is no different. It's your mental state. It's your mental. It's a mental illness, right? It's a disease. Why wouldn't we treat it daily? My son, he has since his accident. He got his head crushed 4 years ago. That's coming up May 30th. That's we're about to celebrate the 4th year anniversary of him getting his head crushed. Celebrate. That's weird. That he didn't die, right?
Yeah.
Good God.
Way to make it sound
Are we
morbid.
celebrating? Hey, we're just talking about you. But
Celebrate that we just remember
he's
it.
got diabetes
Make it a good
insipidus,
day.
right? He has to daily medicate for this diabetes. If he doesn't, his sodium's going to go off the charts, and he could one way or the other, right? Your recovery is the same way. It's a daily prescription of recovery that you need to stay clean and sober. And the more that I learn, the more that I stay in this prescription of daily recovery, the more I see that my life is happier because of it. And it's more than just staying clean and sober. It's living a fulfilled life. Back to this. We want to be happy in this moment, right? Daily is going to make that make our lives better. Life can suck sometimes, but we learn how to deal with it. First,
1 trillion%.
hey, thanks, Geish. That's a sick percentage. That's like the ultimate
Ultimate
in percentages.
max points.
Max ammo.
Oh, we love you, Jeanette.
Love you too, Jeanette. Relapse is a problem that applies to a variety of addictions. Weird. Addiction's addiction at the end of the day. This book and this guy's education comes from dealing with alcoholics. Alcohol. What do we say in NA? At least here in Utah, we read that one reading and we go, alcohol is a drug. And everybody in the room goes, period. Right? I don't care what you're coming off of. Relapse is a problem that applies to a variety of addictions. A person may be addicted to alcohol or other mood-altering drugs, although much of the research into relapse was conducted with alcoholics. Okay, I just said that. People addicted to the drug of alcohol. There is growing evidence that the same relapse prevention methods in this book can be used with a variety of addictions. Why it's my favorite book so just like y'all, I'm an addict. When I get into something, it's 100, it's that Geish 100%. Sorry, Teeter, don't be a one-upper. Yours is not more than Geish's. Teeter, look at Teeter, one up in the crowd. That's called one-upperism. I've read a lot of books since a lot of you have heard my written down relapse prevention plan. I have one. In my relapse prevention plan, I'm going to read a new book every 2 months. And, some people are like, what? You should read a new book every month. No, I didn't want to make myself stressed out about it. So one new book every 2 months. And so I've been gathering books and reading them. I got them on Audible. I've got some on Kindle. By far, this is my favorite book. So far, this is my favorite one. Because we're going to use it. And it can be used for a variety of addictions. As a result, for the purpose of this book, we will be using the following terms interchangeably. Okay? So listen to these terms that was going to be used interchangeably for the next however long it takes us to get through this book. Alcoholism, chemical dependency, addiction, and addictive disease. We will also use the terms alcoholic, chemically dependent person, addict, and addicted person to mean the same thing. Okay, it all means the same. This book is written for people recovering from addiction and will address you if you are one of those people. This book was written for us. We believe, however, that it will be helpful to those who are not or have not been addicted, especially counselors and family members. This book's good for both sides. It's going to help her see things in me, and she's going to learn to be able to help somebody else out and help somebody else's wife who has a husband that's going through this type of stuff,
Mm-hmm. Sue says, why not use the book for smoking, vaping, just asking? Totally can.
Absolutely, Sue.
My eyes itch.
Addiction at the end of the day is addiction. Why do I vape? Because I get something's in my hand. It's my little habit. And when I hit it, I get a sense of peace, right? In the morning, it's like, yeah, now I'm waking up, and I could use it for that too. Absolutely.
No crying in baseball.
Glad
you feel like you're home.
Awesome. And thank you everybody in the chat. If you're not a part of our Discord right here, jump in there with us too.
I'll drop the link again.
But everybody, thank you for being such a great community of really a family. Like today we had last night, some of you know that's in the Discord, we had some issues, and I was thinking about this today, like, wow, our community has become this, to where if one of us goes missing and we're worried, we could reach out. Hey, what's going on with this person? Who talked to him last? We're getting to know each other that well, even though we're around the world. That's a beautiful thing to me. This book was written for people recovering from addiction, and it's going to address you if you are one of those people. We will discuss addiction as a biopsychosocial disease. Biopsychosocial. Epi, write a song with that in it, please. Epi, that's your new goal, is to put biopsychosocial in your next rap. We will discuss addiction as a biopsychosocial disease.
Very cool, Sue.
This means, my point is, I used our steps to stop smoking too. Oh, sick.
The steps work, as Brad says, for
That's awesome.
everything.
Yeah, bro. 25 different things, Yussel brand. That's cool.
Yeah, it does feel like we're just down the block. It's so weird. We're
Yeah,
around the world, but
right?
it's like we're neighbors.
Let me get a hold of John. Let me get a hold of Johnny V. Hey, yo, Johnny.
Go get Clay some toilet paper.
This means that the physical disease, my goodness,
Yeah.
the physical disease, which is the bio, that also affects the mind, which is psycho, and relationships, the social. Bio, your body, psycho, and then body, social. It has long been known that people with addictive disease experience abnormal reactions, not only to the use of addictive chemical, but to not using the chemical. When most people think of addictive disease, they think only of the symptoms that occur while someone is actively involved in the addiction. They are not aware that there are symptoms that emerge with abstinence. These sobriety-based symptoms can be reactivated at any time during our recovery. We're going to describe some of these symptoms in detail in the chapter on post-acute withdrawal, PAW, P-A-W, post-acute withdrawal. If you don't know what it is, Google, do some research, so that when we are going through this book, your guys' comments come up and we can start having discussions. Then we will describe management techniques that will help lower the risk in experiencing post-acute withdrawal. To understand and prevent relapse, it is also necessary to understand the recovery process and what happens when recovery is incomplete. We call this partial recovery. We're going to describe the normal processes of recovery and take a look at what sometimes happens to block complete recovery from occurring. Stuff may block you.
Mm-hmm. And news update. There will be a late night Zoom tonight hosted by yours truly, Brad Kendall, so that Teeter will stop blowing up his phone.
I'm going to drop that link in the chat if you do want to join this scheduled Zoom. This is the same link that we used every day at 1 o'clock. And this is the link that's going to happen when the stream is over. So if you want to be a part of that 8 o'clock Zoom meeting where you're going to see everybody that's in the chat face to face, almost everybody, you don't have to come, no pressure. But if you'd like to, you want to just listen. The cool thing about our Zoom meetings is you can come and just say, hey guys, this is on my chest. This is on my heart. Have you ever been through this? Can I get some feedback? Or you can say, I just need to vent. Or you can turn your camera off and your microphone off and just listen. It's comforting. A lot of times I know there's a lot of people that will just be laying in bed and just throw it on their pillow and use that as a meditation to fall asleep, listening to other people talk about recovery. And sometimes we just hang out. It's been a minute for me since we're in the middle of this move, but it sounds like System of a Down. It does. That's probably what I was thinking. Cool beans. All right, ready?
Yes.
Tuesday we will be back. So for now, let's say the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can,
and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
Amen. Hope we see y'all. Thanks, John.
Bam. Sorry, John. Our apologies.
Whoop. Y'all repeat that after John.
Thank you, John. We are here every Sunday and Tuesday. We're looking back into our Thursday night stream and
Special
seeing
Zoom.
what is happening.
Hi, Grandma
Hi,
T.
Mama. There's my mommy.
A special guest
Oh, yeah.
in the Zoom tonight.
Last night's video that I dropped on our review of that movie, you guys get to meet Grandma T in the middle of it if you guys want to see what my mommy looks like. She's in there. Go in there and say
Just picture LT without a beard. You got it right.
hi. Yeah, we're twins.
Ripped off. They said there's still 4 minutes.
We ain't done talking yet. We're just had a prayer.
What?
Jeez, calm down.
You're like, we're not getting our money's worth here.
All right, let me read something else to you guys. Maybe this will bless somebody, bless our hearts and bless our souls, huh? Oh boy. I reset up my computer, so give me a minute.
Glad you're here, Brian. Who's the special guest? Just tell us.
What's going on?
Who is it?
What is even
Is
going
it
on?
Russell Brand?
Oh boy.
Better be.
Brad says he has a special guest.
Yeah. Better be Russell Brand.
That makes me weary when Brad says things like that. I get very, I don't know what you call it, cautious.
Oh, you missed the link quote. He did one by Dolly Parton earlier.
Yeah, the one that he's been doing every time for the last 7 show. He's got brain damage, so he doesn't remember.
Yeah, he's totally forgot what we did this morning again. It took him a minute to remember.
Forgot how the car got here.
Yeah, I forgot how the car got here.
Here's
He
our
remembers.
AA thought of the day. In AA, we often hear the slogan, easy does it. Alcoholics always do everything to excess. They drink too much. They worry too much. They have too many resentments. They hurt themselves physically and mentally by too much of everything. So when they come to AA, you have to learn to take it easy. None of us know how much longer we have to live. Back to the hourglass. It's probably that we wouldn't have lived very long if we had continued to drink the way we used to. By stopping drinking, we have increased our chances of living for a while longer. Question for tonight for y'all to think about is, have you learned to take it easy yet? I have. I have done that. All right, y'all. We will be back Tuesday at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time for another live stream. And until then, do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your programs, and remember that we recover better together.